Hey everybody. Need to adjust my camera a little bit again. There we go. That's better. Um, and it slid down again. I don't know why for a long time that this camera would stay in place, um, like I put it, and then all of a sudden it just decided it was going to start doing any old thing. Hey Texas. Um, so are you guys ready tonight for the House on Sorority Row watch along? I'm going to have a few things I'm going to talk about music wise before we get started with this watch along, and that'll also give, if I bullshit a little bit, it'll give people time enough to get in here that maybe didn't get a chance to get in here earlier for this amazing watch along. People's probably going to think, yeah, amazing, my foot. Um, but I do think this is a pretty good or decent slasher film from the 80s, of course. Um, I hope you guys got your popcorn or your snack of choice, um, or your energy drink or your drink of choice, soda or whatever. Um, and you also have your favorite horror T-shirt on. I've got my Lucio Fulci's zombie shirt on right now, uh, and I'm all ready to go. But I am going to do the Daily Grindhouse tonight or this evening, and like I said, I'm going to be talking about um, music, mainly because this movie has a house band in it that's playing for the college party, and the house band is 4 out of 5 doctors. Now, I probably have spoken about 4 out of 5 doctors before. I can't remember if I mentioned it when Texas was in here. I can't remember if he had said anything about yay or nay, whether he thinks they're garbage or he thinks they're okay or he doesn't know anything about them. I've heard two schools of thought of 4 out of 5 doctors while I've been in record shops. Because I spent a little bit of time in the record shops around Louisville trying to find some actual 4 out of 5 doctors LPs, vinyl. And I was not successful, except I went to one record shop and this guy said, "Oh, yeah, I think I actually have some, but they're not here at the store right now." He had recently acquired a large amount of records from an estate sale or something like that. And they gave him, a good price for all of this different music. And he said, "I think I have, a few of their albums." And he told me, he gave me his number and stuff. And I had planned to come back at a later time because he assured me that he would bring those albums in. He would hunt them up, bring them into the shop. Uh, and so I did. And the day that I came, his record shop was closed up in the middle of the day. So I don't know if it was a small shop. He might have had a family emergency, might have not had anybody to cover the store. I don't know what happened. It just, said they were closed. So needless to say, I never got back there to actually ask the guy that owned the shop about these records. But I did find a couple of them on Amazon. And I'm going to show those off in the Daily Grindhouse segment before we get this movie started. And I also want to talk about a couple of Oklahoma bands. One would be considered, I guess, just rock music band. The other one is what I would call harder edged or heavy metal type of music. One is First Strike, and that strike spelled Stryke, and First Strike is all one word, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, and they did music for The Last Slumber Party, which is not a very good movie, but it was a movie that was filmed in Oklahoma, as was Blood Lake. First Strike was a Tulsa, Oklahoma band, heavy metal band, and they did a few songs for The Last Slumber Party. Now, what the song in particular that I'm going to be talking about by First Strike was featured in the opening scenes of The Last Slumber Party, which I always tell people is the best scene in the whole entire movie. Is this person who's clearly had a lobotomy. I believe it might be the director of the movie, because you can see where they've sliced his head open and did something. And he is rummaging through drawers and everything. And as the camera moves down a hallway and into this room where the soon-to-be killer is, we hear this thumping type of pounding sound, music starting up. And it really goes along with the action that's taking place, because there's no talking or anything. It's just this weird guy, getting a scalpel and making himself look like a doctor and stuff like that. And we know obviously he is not, but you have this hard driving music in the background called Just a Nightmare. The song is called Just a Nightmare by First Strike. And they actually had an album out at about this time that Last Slumber Party came out. And the album was called Just a Nightmare. And the song is called Just a Nightmare. And I may play you a little snippet of it. I'm not going to play the whole song because it's over 5 minutes long, and that's going to cut into the time for the movie. The other band I wanted to talk about is Voyager, who is featured heavily on the film Blood Lake, which is also an Oklahoma shot on video horror film. Again, not a very good film, but an entertaining film. And the Voyager soundtrack, I feel like, is decent. But what I found out was there are several bands called Voyager, but I'm going to focus on the Oklahoma band Voyager. I think there might be an Australian band Voyager, and might be a band out in California that's called Voyager. So we just want to make sure that it's clear to everybody that this is the Oklahoma band Voyager. And Texas, I don't know how much you know about either First Strike or Voyager, if you know anything about them, but feel free to jump in there in the chat and mention any little tidbits of information you might know about them, or about four out of five doctors, which here in just a second, I'm going to be playing my daily Grindhouse intro, and then we're going to get into the music, and then after that, we're going to get this party started and get this movie started. And in between times, if people come in here while I'm doing the daily Grindhouse or whatever, or basically at any point in time, unless it's just 30 seconds before the movie's over, and you decide that you want to come in live on the stream, I would be glad to have you. There is a link to come backstage here so I can add you in the chat. There is also a link to Tubi for the movie in case you don't have a copy of your own to watch along with me. And I do want to remind everybody before I get to this daily Grindhouse segment that next week's movies will be May 6th will be Death Ship, And May 7th, since it's the first of the month, you get kind of like a double horror bill. And that is graduation day. Now, May 13th will be the Prowler. And I think on May 14th, I will do Bachelor Party, the early 80s film starring Tom Hanks. So we got all that coming up, plus, the Monsters, the second half of the first season of Monsters. TJ and I will be discussing those things next Wednesday. Next month, or this coming Monday, we will be having the Evil Dead Rise review and discussion free for all. It is not spoiler free, everybody. So anybody that wants to come in on the chat, anybody that wants to come in live with me on the stream and share your thoughts, or you can share your thoughts in the chat. Texas, when you get your webcam from that Rob mailed you, you may want to come in live on the stream Monday, or you may not, but you are certainly welcome. We can have up to 10 people in here at a time. That's me and 9 other people. So, come on, come on. And hopefully we won't break the internet or break StreamYard. Texas, you say you know the names, but not sure. Yeah. When you hear some of their music, which you'll be able to hear 4 out of 5 doctors in the movie if you have a little bit of the audio playing. And I'm probably going to play a couple of snippets, one of Voyager and one of First Strike, just so anybody that's in here can hear these great bands. So let's get right on into the Daily Grindhouse. Okay. Hey, Blissful. So first off, the house band that is in House on Sorority Row, 4 out of 5 doctors. I do have 2 of their albums. They are used, guys. Keep that in mind. One looks a little worse for wear, but the record plays great. This is the Second Opinion album. I just think that is cool ass artwork, if not bizarre. If you turn it over on the back, there is the band. The blonde guy in the middle, I'm forgetting his name. He will be featured quite heavily in the party scenes when the band is actually playing. So this has some really good songs, in my opinion. This album does, some of which you will hear on House on Sorority Row. We've got Good Pretender, Dawn Patrol, Anna with Antenna. Keep in mind, these guys were considered kind of a new wave type of band as well. Breaking Rocks and Never Say Die. Side 2 has Waiting for Roxanne, Lonely Ones, Heart on a Chain, Call Me at Home, and Young World. And the blonde guy is named Cal Everett. The other guys in the band, Jeff Severson, George Pittaway, Tom Value, and Jeff Glicksman. Okay. And the other album is just a self-titled album, 4 out of 5 doctors. I don't like the artwork nearly as well as I do the Second Opinion album. But again, if you turn it over on the back, this one's still got some plastic on it. You can see the band there. And you see Cal Everett there on the end. His hair's a little shorter there. But this also has some songs that will be featured on House on Sorority Row. We've got Modern Man, Jeff, Waiting for a Change, Elizabeth, Opus 10, I Want Her, New Wave Girls, Mr. Cool Shoes, Danger Man, Mushroom Boy, and Not From Her World. Now, Steve always makes fun of me for liking 4 out of 5 Doctors. And he is really not interested in listening to their music at all. But I am. So I guess that's all that matters, right? So Texas, you say, I remember the record, but I don't own it. Do you remember the Second Opinion one? Because I figure that's the one that people, if they remember anything about 4 out of 5 Doctors, they probably remember that one. Okay, so then I told you I was going to talk about a couple of Oklahoma bands. One, First Strike, which is featured in the last Slumber Party. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to wonder if I could do just Okay. Just wanted to play you a little snippet of Just a Nightmare from First Strike. That is from the album also called Just a Nightmare. So the next song I want to share with you guys is from Blood Lake. This is the band, again, another Oklahoma band called Voyager. So let's see if we can bring this up here. So, also wanted to play a little snippet of Throughout the Night from Blood Lake, sung by the band Voyager. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. While I was doing that, I was thinking, why don't I, sometime in the near future, do a stream on, little known, regional bands or local bands to movies that were shot like in Oklahoma, and you could talk about these different Oklahoma bands. So I just like, especially if people haven't heard of these people before, or maybe hadn't had a chance to hear their music. I just want to share, and I hope that doesn't get me kicked off of here or my stream stopped. But I didn't see anybody say that I uh, got any strikes or anything. Um, so let me go back and read these chat messages I missed. Texas says, I remember the record but don't own it. Hey, Uncle Bill. Say, hey, Dana, real quick. That site for the Logitech camera driver, is that okay to download that to your computer? Did you download from his Discord? Well, actually, I just went, Uncle Bill, to the Logitech site because I no longer have the same type of camera. I have a Logitech camera, but I don't have the one that this guy was talking about. So what I did was I went to the Logitech website and got something called Logitune, which allows me to preview my camera and make adjustments at the same time. So I would suspect, since I think this guy has been around for a while, that it would be okay to download it. But if you're unsure, you could always do what I did and go to the Logitech site and and possibly, depending on what camera you have, um, you could use that Logitune and you could get it directly from Logitech site. It's free. So I guess it'd be either way you wanted to do it. That's okay. You say sorry off topic. Texas, you say I've never seen that one. Uh, yes, Blissful. Solid bass and drums. Love the sleazy tone. Yeah, I do too. I mean, and I assume you're talking about the first one, the first strike song. I always loved that. That was an excellent way to start off a movie, especially if you thought that, gee, people might not like this movie that well. I mean, I'm not saying the movie's not good fun, but it's not a good movie. But that intro into the movie with that song, Just a Nightmare, is awesome. Texas, you say the drums are a definite. Um, and Blissful, were you talking about when you said killer drums? Were you talking about the second song by Voyager, Throughout the Night? Yes, definitely some Southern rock undertones in there. Um, you said that would be awesome if I did like we could talk a little bit about the movies too, but I, like I said, I love introducing people to things that maybe they had heard a little bit about, but maybe not heard their songs or not even heard about the band at all. Um, I could even talk about 4 out of 5 Doctors, even though we're doing House on Sorority Row tonight. Said the second, yes. Okay. Um, Blissful, you say I always tune into drums first. My dad was a drummer. Well, I always liked drummers. If I was going to date a guy in a band, it probably wouldn't be the lead singer, it would be the drummer. I've always been enamored of drummers. I always thought Ringo Starr was awesome. Keith Moon and the Who was awesome. Just something draws me about drummers. Hey, TJ, you say howdy, Dana, Bliss, Texas, etc. Okay, there is a dang, like this is a big house fly. This is not like a little annoying fly. It's like a big thing buzzing around me. Um, yeah, blissful drummers are a completely different animal. LOL. Um, I find something inherently sexy about them too. I'm not saying that in connection with your dad. Um, I mean, who knows? In his younger days, your dad might have been sexy on the drums, but I don't want to talk to you about your dad in that way. But in general, I find drummers to be very sexy, and so let's see. I can't think if there's anything else I wanted to bring up before we got into the movie tonight. So, is everybody that's in here, are you going to be watching the movie? Is there anybody that wants to join me live on the stream? Don't worry if you don't have the movie, and I'm pointing at you, Uncle Bill, especially. You need to get your ass on here because your internet's fixed, right? I know you've been doing some streams, so you should come on here. Um, and because I've got the Tubi link for the movie. So if anybody wants to join me on here, but they don't have access to the movie, I've got the Tubi link. I can repost the Tubi link, and there will be commercials because we're not using the commercial free one. I can't figure out how to use the commercial free one online, but I use the other version, the unhacked version, I guess, online. Blissful, you say they are the heartbeat of the band, and every practice, rehearsal, and gig, they get a total body workout. Oh, yes, definitely. Texas, you said, Blissful, I think that's why you like Genetics by the Stranglers because of the drums. And Blissful says, Texas, maybe. Um, so I'll give us about 5 minutes or so for everybody to get situated. If you need me to repost any of the links, a link to join me live on the stream, the link to the movie, please let me know in these next few minutes, and I will put them back in the chat. So, anybody else got anything exciting going on that you want to share in these next few minutes before we start this movie? Oh, I also want to remind everybody that tomorrow night, I guess I'm going to start it at 7 as well. I think I've got it set up for 7. I have to check. And that's going to be the Goonies. So, unless CK has got something else going on, I fully expect his ass to be in here for the watch along because that is a movie that he's talked about forever and ever. That's a movie a lot of people have talked about forever and ever. It was part of a lot of our youth. That's what you say, Texas. I don't know. I knew most if the drummers from the hair and metal bands. Well, no, LOL. Um, oh, cool, TJ. You say you met Michael Felcher last night. I didn't introduce myself because my friend didn't do it for me. LOL. It's cool that you met Michael Felcher, though. Hey, Rob. You gonna be watching the movie with us tonight, or you got some homework to do? Did you get your David Lynch paper written? Texas, you say we watched that one video of it and you really liked it. It was the one that you said was magical. Oh, TJ, I always got the feeling that you were a little bit shy, which is, it makes me pleased that you want to come on the streams with me to do, like we did the Tales from the Dark Side. You've been on a few of the watch alongs, and we're now doing the monsters thing and all that. So I think that is just awesome. I want to get all the shy people on here because I used to be really super shy too. Would never believe it now, would you? As much as I talk. But I think about 7:40 we'll get this party started. We're kind of going up and down in the number of people in here. Some of the people could be, like I say, just drive-by viewers. They take a look at, that's not interesting, so I'm going to go to something else. But sorry if I seem a little more animated tonight. I hope I don't seem overly animated tonight compared with the way I've been on the last couple of streams. My emotions are in better check. That's all I'll say about it today, as opposed to a few days ago. So I'm feeling happier, feeling sunnier, whatever you want to call it, and just raring to go. And really been looking forward to this watch along this week. And but I don't want to turn anybody off from, watching me, because I'm just all over the place, you know. But sometimes when I'm down in the dumps, down in the doldrums or whatever, and then I come out of it, it's not like bipolar or anything, but it's just like I feel such relief and so much more happy and all of that, and not stressed out, and all of those things combined. And so it's such a relief that I'm just like, yay, I'm ready to go. Oh, wow, Rooster. I hate that you were in the hospital, but I'm glad you're better now. I did notice that you weren't I don't think you were in the last few streams I was in, or I was doing. Yes, Blissful, exactly. It is like a breath of fresh air coming out of an emotional situation. And I really don't know how I was able to do those streams that I did. But I was glad I was able to do them, because I don't think if I was doing those, I wouldn't have fared as well. If I was just staying off to myself and not pushing myself to get in here and do these streams. So Texas does have the camera. He says, hey, Rob, thanks for camera and the cards. I need to get one of those multiple USB things for it. I don't have many on this computer. Yeah, you definitely, as soon as you can get that, so you can get it, maybe you can get it hooked up by Monday. And like you guys said, we'll all look good on Monday whenever everybody comes in there to talk about Evil Dead Rise. Yes, I echo that, Blissful, that I am glad Rooster is feeling better. Oh, I'm sure you'll figure it out, Texas. So I'm thinking Uncle Bill must come in here just to say hey and ask me about the camera settings. Blissful, you say, TJ, it's odd with a lot of my friends, and they are introverts in an extrovert situation. Rob says, glad you're on the men, Rooster. Yes, yes. So, again, before we get started, is there anybody that wants to join in live with me on this stream? You don't necessarily have to decide now. If you decide a few minutes in, that's perfectly fine. I usually go back and forth between the movie and the chat. So exactly, Rooster. You be drive by. That's what I that's kind of what I was thinking too. Um And also, for everybody that's watching the movie, just let me know if you've got it queued up. I'm a lazy ass and don't like to get my. Um, I'm going to mute the sound on this because I've seen this movie a million gazillion times and don't really need the sound on. Might turn it up a little bit when 4 out of 5 doctors is playing, but um, so I'm about a second in on the Tubi link. In case you guys are watching through the Tubi link, if you are watching through a Blu-ray or a DVD, um, I suspect you can get, queued up pretty quickly. Uh, Robbie say, wish I could, was just stopping by to say, hey, have to get back to writing this Lynch paper. Really earn the gun. So you're still working on the Lynch paper. I want to know about this Lynch paper when you're done with it, Rob. Well, you have a good time writing that Lynch paper too. Thanks for stopping by though, Rob. Okay. So, in about another minute or so, I won't hear any screams from the gallery saying, stop, stop, don't start the movie. I'm going to go ahead and get the party started here. Everybody got their popcorn, their soda pop, their energy drink, booze, whatever you're drinking tonight. But I'm going to have to get this thing started because people are dropping like flies out of here. So, I guess we're going to go ahead and get started. If anybody comes in here later and needs a timestamp, of course, we can all provide that, can't we? For those of us that are watching along tonight. So I'm going to go ahead. Well, I was. Daggone. I don't know what in the heck is going on with this mouse. Give me just a second, guys. I clicked on it. And the daggone, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with these wireless mice. I clicked on the tab to bring this back up and it just freaking closed the tab out. So give me just a second. This makes me so mad. Okay. So again, I have this up 1 second in. The little logo is getting ready to come up for the movie. So we'll do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Press play. So we got the Multicom Entertainment Group presents coming up. And now we get the June 19th, 1961 title card. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too, TJ. How do we know she is alive? Yeah, this does have some classic dialogue to it. So we clearly have a woman who's in, the throes of great pain. It looks like she is very pregnant. And we got the doctor coming in here, and he's like, he's angry with the nurse, why didn't you call me as soon as it started or whatever? And, really, I don't like this doctor. He's kind of mean and hateful. But we're going to find out later that the doctor was not really doing things that he should have in order to, I guess, help. We're going to find out this is Mrs. Slater, who's going to be the house mother. But this is, like I guess, a flashback or a prologue to the movie. So it looked like they did like a C-section on her, and she wants to know where her baby is. And basically all he says is, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Slater," and she screams no. And we can only assume that the baby has died. Sorry, guys. Darren is Darren's messaging me about your occult. And Dirk's asking me in here. According to Steve Dirk, Steve said we're doing stage fright tomorrow. I hope that we didn't give you guys any misinformation, because Darren was messaging me too. Yeah, I know, TJ. I thought that was funny too. They don't even try to make her look younger. So now we've got the title and everything. The house on Sorority Row. The girls. We can only assume that these are the girls that are going to be graduating. And they're getting some pictures taken in their caps and gowns. There is the lovely Ellen Davidson, who went on to, or she might have been doing having a soap opera career here as well. Harley Kozak. I know she was on some other things, but the big thing I remember her being on after this, I believe, was there's a scene in When Harry Met Sally where Harry was married to a woman named Helen, and she left him for some guy named Ira, and he's with Meg Ryan in a shop, and his ex-wife Helen comes walking up, and his ex-wife is played by Harley Kozak. So that's another place, another movie you can see her in. And so Katie is kind of like our main character. Katie, who's the young girl there, um, that's talking to her mother about the swimming pool. And of course, you know, this movie mother is being like a lot of mothers, expects their child to, come back home for a little bit before they decide to start out on their own. And Katie's basically telling her mother, Mom, I'm not coming back home. So that the girls are planning on having a party in Mrs. Slater's house. Mrs. Slater does not know this. So Biggie is trying to talk Katie into staying so that they can get things set up. And she's also fixed Katie up with a blind date for the party. Meanwhile, Mrs. Slater is going to a clinic. We're not really sure what's going on at this point. We can only assume that in 1961 she lost her baby. Um, and she's going to see the same doctor from the beginning. They didn't really try to make him look younger either. I mean, he looks the same in the 1961 scene as he does here. So she's basically telling him she intends to spend this summer like she spent all her summers at her house, that the house is going to be closed. But he keeps talking about a possible problem. And again, at this point, we're not really sure um, what's going on. They're talking about a he. His condition is getting worse. He's telling her, you've got to forget the past. And she basically is holding something over his head. And she says, if you try to stop me from leaving the place, I'll see what you did is remembered. So we know that the doctor did something that he shouldn't have. And so now he gives her some kind of ID tag. And she assures him there'll be no problems, and she leaves. So I'm not sure where everybody else will have commercials, but I've got a commercial right now. Something called Food Stars. Have no interest. Now we're back to the movie. And Vicky is with her boyfriend, Rick. And we're going to soon find out that she's wanting to shoot a gun. Because evidently he's got a gun and he was going to, let her use it. But he told her, I guess, that it had to be pretty deserted. And we see here that Vicky is kind of bitchy. Who's trying to kiss around on her, and she's just like, get off me. And we can see by this scene that Vicky seems to be well versed in guns. So now we're going to a little mini party that the girls are having with booze and everything. I think this seems kind of funny because she's saying, may it be the 3 shortest years of my life, talking about law school. And she says, here's to reaching my fullest capacity. Somebody makes a joke about a quart and a half. The other girl is going to Pan Am, and may they never find out I'm afraid of flying. This girl makes a joke about to my mother who never let me forget I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and she said, "Mama, you were wrong. It's up my nose." So these girls are clearly wasted here, and Katie even kind of seals the deal here in a second. Oh, but Mrs. Slater has returned, and she is none too thrilled to hear music coming from her house. So they're saying, "Come on, Katie." She said, "I want to thank you all." And she says, "No, I'm serious. I want to thank you all for helping me become what I am today." Wasted. Um, which, like I said, it's clear that all the girls are pretty wasted. Now it's Morgan's turn. And she is the one that utters the line later, "How do we know she is alive?" that TJ talked about. So Morgan's getting ready to say a toast to, oh no. Evidently Morgan has had way too much booze. She pushes past Mrs. Slater. Mrs. Slater wants to know what they're still doing here because the house is closed. So Diane goes on to tell Mrs. Slater that the graduation party had to be moved from the Silver Bear because of insufficient funds. So they're going to have the party there. And they assure they're only staying a couple extra days. She basically she's smiling with this. She wants them out of her house tomorrow. So now they're talking about Mrs. Slater retiring. And I don't know how true this is, if this is just movie logic or what. But I would figure if somebody owned a house, they could get you out of there. I mean, after classes are over, I figured they could make you leave anytime they damn well please. But I don't know if there's anything to do with bylaws or if, like I said, that's just movie logic for this movie. Rooster, you say you ate some biscuits. I might pass out. TJ, you say this should have been a rock song, more like Stepford Wives music. It is kind of, yeah, Texas. The intro is like a John Hughes movie. Um, Dirk at this point in time, he maybe did say 3 weeks. It's been crazy around our house. Yeah, I already had a commercial. Texas had a commercial. TJ, you have a commercial for DoorDash? Um, your timestamp uh, was 8:58. Mine's 1328 now. Hopefully we're pretty close. Um, TJ, you say it's Aunt Bedelia, LOL. I don't know, TJ. That's a good question. I don't know why why she's overdubbed. Where's the log lady? Now the music is Amityville Horror. Yeah, it's all over the place, isn't it? And we ain't even got to the 4 out of 5 doctor scenes yet. So Mrs. Slater is going to hear something here shortly. Um, we get the feeling too that there's something not quite right about Mrs. Slater. Um, she's a little odd. She looks, in some of the supposedly older pictures, she looks okay. But clearly something is distressing her now. And so evidently now she wants nothing to do with this house, these sororities, because she's literally, tearing all the pictures up of all the graduating classes of girls that stayed in her house over the years. And now she's taking her cane and actually breaking the picture of the current girls, almost literally going right through Vicky. Now, Vicky is with her boyfriend again, and we're going to find out that Vicky has a waterbed, and so he's like, "Well, we always do it in the car," and she's like, wanting him to count to 20 and then come upstairs. And Vicky says, "Look what Daddy bought his little girl," and Rick's basically not going to waste any time now. So Mrs. Slater, for some reason, is going to go up to the attic in her house. And there's some toys up there. And there's a clown in a music box. And there you go, guys. We got a little boobage for you guys there, courtesy of Vicky. Vicky and Rick seem to be having a pretty good time here. And Mrs. Slater hears some laughing, and she's getting a little concerned about that laughing. So she's going to go back down out of the attic to see who could be doing all that laughing. I'm guessing they're trying to make the whole condom scene seem sensual and seductive. Maybe there's a safe sex message in there. We don't usually see that in movies now, or I haven't seen it in movies now, but there were several movies in the 80s that, um, they would talk about condoms, even in the early 90s as well. Uh-oh. Oh, man. That's going to ruin that waterbed. Mrs. Slater is really mad. She's calling on filth and trash like you doesn't deserve to be in my house. I think most of her hatred is directed towards Vicky. Vicky is mad, very angry now, you bitch. And she's telling her, I'll get back at you. I'm sorry, but that scene's kind of funny where Vicky slips and falls down. So now they got a big bucket of what appears to be KFC chicken. Doesn't that just kill you? These girls all look good and they're able to eat that greasy KFC chicken, which is really, really good. But I envy those girls back when they had good metabolism. But Biggie just threw a piece of KFC chicken into the pool. So Vicky's got an elaborate plan for a prank to play on Mrs. Slater because, frankly, she's angry with her for messing up her waterbed. And they're coming up with all kinds of things and talking about short sheeting her bed and spray glue on her toilet seat. And Vicky said, I've got it. It's perfect. Katie's not in for this at all. And Katie's saying, we're supposed to be mature adults. Diane says, one more fling won't set us back any. So they're planning to do this on Friday before their big party starts. So Katie notices that the window up to the attic, it was like somebody was watching them and then somebody has closed the window. Now we're back to Dr. Beck, who is talking about Mrs. Slater. He's talking about a psychotic break. There's probably at this point, I'd say a little bit of confusion, especially if this is the first time watch, if he's talking about Mrs. Slater or he's talking about someone else. But we don't know again who that someone else could be because we were under the impression that her baby died, right? So who else could they be talking about? So Vicky's still got Rick's gun. I'm not sure why they all felt the need to like pass this gun around. But somebody's asking if it's loaded. Vicky's like, of course not. Katie's saying, I mean, a joke is one thing, but a gun. Vicky is very sure of herself. She's sure that this prank's going to go off without a hitch. TJ, you say, I looked it up. Her real voice was too high pitched, not intimidating enough for the character, but they liked her look, so they dubbed a more husky voice for her. Very good, TJ. I love it that you can add these little things in there. Texas, you say she's the dead lady in Black Christmas, not literally. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. TJ, you say she's going to give them the bird. LOL. TJ, you say Vicky is very Chris Hargensen, but slightly not as evil. Right. Yeah. So the girls are continuing to decorate and stuff. Even though Mrs. Slater gave orders for them to be out by now. Uh-oh. Now she's telling them she wants them to leave at once, pack up all their stuff. And Vicky stands up to her and says, what if you don't? Or what if we don't? So evidently Vicky has hidden Mrs. Slater's cane somewhere. Vicky tells her to go check out by the pool. So the cane is out in the middle of the pool, and Mrs. Slater says, if that gun's real, you're all in serious trouble. So basically, Vicky's going to coerce Mrs. Slater with the gun to get into the pool. So this is basically they're setting all this up. And it appears that she fired off a round and nicked one of the other girls. Just to make it look realistic enough so that Mrs. Slater will know she's serious and get into the pool. So this was all a setup. So then Mrs. Slater hits Vicky with the cane. The gun goes off again. Mrs. Slater falls back into the pool. So we've all seen similar scenes, right? Oh no, but the band is here now. What are they gonna do? So Morgan's got sexy girl Morgan's gonna go stall the band. And Biggie's saying, okay, she doesn't have any relatives. We either hide the body or face the police. Katie says, I'm calling an ambulance, and Vicky's gonna stop her. She says, if you call now, it's over for all of us. And how many times have we seen this done in horror movies? You know, they, instead of thinking logically, of course, if they thought logically, there would be no movie. You know, they could have called the cops, had an ambulance come, explain what happened, and just go from there. But this is horror movie logic, okay? So basically, they're going to put her back in the pool. Dex, you said Kane Yod. Hey, there's Uncle Bill down there. Yeah, all right, I'm adding you. Stop dancing, Uncle Bill.
Come on, Dana.
Uncle Bill's got the COVID, and so he's he's delusional right now.
What the fuck, Dana? I've been in there for like 10 minutes waiting on your ass while you've been eating popcorn watching this movie.
Hey, yeah, I gotta have my popcorn. You know, that's gonna be part of my new gimmick. When I do watch alongs, I gotta have popcorn, right?
Well, I don't care what you eat as long as you pay attention to who's coming in the fucking studio, Dana.
Hey, I asked you to come in here 20 or 30 minutes ago. That's not my fault.
Could have played a game of chess and read a book by the time now. God almighty, man.
Well, now that you're here, have you got a copy of this movie? Or
I'm watching it on the Tubi.
The Tubi link. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm synced up with you all right now, I'm pretty sure.
Have you seen this movie before, Uncle Bill?
You know I've seen this movie before, Dana.
No, I don't know.
You know I have.
Oh, man.
But here's the weird thing. I don't own this movie. MVD has the Blu-ray, and for some reason I've just never bought it. I have no idea why.
I think at one time I had 2 different, I guess, releases of it. And then Steve had that really, I thought he had that sought after release at one time. Wasn't there a release that would like everybody wanted to get?
There was a Scorpion release of it that came out 2018, something like that.
That sounds about right.
And that's out of print now. A lot of people were looking for that for a while.
Oh, Darren, that's okay. You say, "Hey guys, sorry I messaged you on Facebook during stream." That's cool. I can multitask. TJ says, "Disco Uncle Bill."
Get my little dance going.
So, are you feeling better?
Yeah, I feel about 90%, I guess, right now. So for the first couple, oh Lord to God, that was a really bad or really good puppet, depending on how you look at it. For the first couple of days, it was really bad, and then just like it just broke, like all of a sudden, and it was just over with.
Well, I hope you stay on the mend. How's Savannah doing? Is she doing better?
She's about the same way as me right now, and we both got it around the same time, I think.
You probably gave it to her, Uncle Bill.
Probably, along with herpes.
Oh, man. You gave her all kinds of stuff, Uncle Bill. That's not nice.
Chlamydia.
Holy
gonorrhea,
crap, that's getting personal now.
SARS, H1N1.
So now we're getting to my band. Here's my band, people. This is 4 out of 5 doctors.
What a great name for a band, by the way. Just
Yeah, I actually have 2 of their albums too.
yeah, I saw at the beginning where that one is some priceless artwork.
The one with the 2-headed
Yeah,
doctor. But you gotta admit, though, well, no, I don't guess you gotta admit, but I think their music is good. I think they were considered at least partially a new wave band. So,
yeah. There's something about that time period where all the bands had that sound. This was '83, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 83. And, the more and more I watch this movie, and you guys know I've seen it probably more times than any person needs to humanly watch this movie. And the more and more I watched, I was like, I really like this music. And every time I mentioned 4 out of 5 doctors, Steve rolls his eyes. Um, so many times that he's probably gonna get them stuck that way. And got another damn commercial, by the way,
Oh
about
God,
Yellowstone, and
I don't have a commercial right now.
it's weird. Everybody can be watching the same link, but they don't have their commercials at the same time. So it's just kind of weird.
You know why, Dana? China. They're stealing all of our information.
Are y'all paranoid, Uncle Bill? They're
Yeah,
stealing everything from us.
yeah. I'm really scared that the Norwegians are stealing all my information.
Now, this guy here, that's about to be dispatched here very quickly.
You're gonna have to give me a timestamp because I'm probably ahead of you now.
3154.
Oh yeah, I'm way ahead of you. Hold on.
I think this guy here, the blind date that Vicky set Katie up with, I think this guy's cute. I wouldn't say he's hot, but he's cute.
Have you
Peter.
just seen the stabbing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That goofy guy that was, I don't know who the hell he was. I guess he's some frat boy or something, just creeping around there. So Peter's come upstairs to find Katie. Katie's crying because of what they did to Mrs. Slater. She's not really in the mood for a blind date, I don't think.
Have you talked about the fact that that lead looks exactly like oh my God, what's that actress's name? I just had it in like front of my mind. The one that was in Say Anything.
You talking about Ione Sky? She looks like Ione Sky.
Whoever the lead actress was in Say Anything that was like an opposite of John Cusack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's Ione Sky.
I thought that's who that was when I first watched this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it does kind of, yeah, now that you say that, it does. She does favor Ione Sky a little bit.
Well, that's a hell of a name too. Ione Sky.
I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Somebody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. What I don't like about Peter is his wardrobe, though. I don't like that damn sweater vest, though.
You don't like Peter?
I like Peter as a person on here, but I don't like his sweater vest.
Uh huh.
We could get into a whole different discussion on
Yeah.
Peter, but we won't.
Yeah.
So this is the big scene where they're all, very, very distracted. They are not having a good time, and all the girls are looking at each other like, what in the hell are we going to do now?
So I don't know the answer to this,
Hmm.
but I feel like I do. Was this filmed in Canada?
Um, I didn't think it was, but I've been known to be wrong. So
All right. If it isn't filmed in Canada, then it looks like every film that's filmed in Canada from around that time
I
period.
agree with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up, Danny, because I'm just curious.
Yeah.
It's got that particular. Hold on here. Is this got? This doesn't have 4K or anything, does it?
No, not that I'm aware of.
It will soon. I'm about guarantee it. Everything else is.
Blissful said, sounds like UB is a member of Motley Crue. LOL.
Nope, it was not. It was filmed in Maryland. That's close enough.
And TJ's giving us a little trivia about 4 out of 5 doctors, that they were from Washington, D.C.
Dana, did you know this movie made $10 million? Its worldwide gross was $10,604,000 on a budget of $425,000. So that's a hell of a profit.
I did not know that, but I'm glad to know that now.
Mm-hmm.
So the girl Vicky there, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, in the purple dress or lavender or whatever you want to call it. She was in soap operas. I don't know if she was in soap operas at the time that this movie was made, or it was after. I'd love to have a stream too about how many people started out in horror movies and then went on to soap operas, because there's a whole heck of a lot of them.
Yep. The immediate one that comes to mind for me is Cassie DePalva from Evil Dead 2.
Exactly. That's a big one. But there's been a ton of them. One of them I'm thinking of, I think her name was Lauren on Young and the Restless. She was one of the people on Happy Birthday to Me. And not only that though, but you had people that were on like what you would consider family television, like Little House on the Prairie. Melissa Sue Anderson went from doing Little House on the Prairie as Mary, to doing something like Happy Birthday to Me, which was a really big departure from Little House on the Prairie. I mean, she didn't get naked in it or anything like that. She didn't, I don't recall her having sex in it at all, but it was a very risque role if you would compare it to Little House on the Prairie. And I've mentioned this before, and I don't remember what magazine the article was in, but I read an article a long, long time ago that was written about the time Happy Birthday to Me came out. And Melissa Sue Anderson was talking about how she was just sick of playing Mary in Little House on the Prairie and having them do every bad thing they could to that character. They had her go blind. They had her baby burn up in a fire. It just kept going on and on and on and on. And so she just basically wanted out of that type of television family atmosphere kind of stuff. And she wanted to try something different. Hence, um, I don't know if she was in any other horror movies. I don't know if other than Happy Birthday to Me, that's the only one I can think of. But there could have been a made for television horror movie that she was in, um, or something like that. If somebody knows, they can put that in the chat, or Uncle Bill if you know.
No, I wasn't a huge Melissa Sue Anderson mark, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I wasn't either, but I like Happy Birthday to Me.
Yeah, that's probably one of the better one of these type of movies, actually,
Mhm.
especially the kills in it.
So the version I'm watching on Tubi and that Uncle Bill's watching on Tubi, I don't think the quality is that bad on here. I mean, even in these dark
No, it's
scenes,
not really.
it looks good.
I've got it turned all the way down, so all it says is like soft rock music.
Yeah, I've got the closed captioning on, but some of that closed captioning is okay, but it's not spot on sometimes. Sometimes you get some weird things in there. So the little ball that we keep seeing around, that the little jingly ball that keeps rolling around, that reminds me of the last time I went to Waverly Hills, and did one of those half night things where I uh, was able to actually do an investigation. Kind of, you could use your video cameras and all your, any meters and all that stuff you had. But anyway, I went with my neighbors and we went in one area, and there was a ball, and that ball started moving across the floor. And I know some of you guys, don't believe in the supernatural junk and all that, but you're in a place like Waverly Hills and you're in the dark, and things like that start happening. Plus, you hear people in other areas. Hey, Princess Puffins. You hear people in other areas doing things with spirit boxes and stuff like that. And I see Uncle Bill's muted. There you
No.
go. He's not muted now, but he was.
So yeah, we went to Waverly. God, it's been like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that part of it I always wondered about that. The ball in the room that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
going around and everything. So that's got to be a gimmick somehow, right? Like that's got to be some sort of.
I mean, maybe, but both times I went, I experienced something. Aside from the ball rolling around. The first time I went, Steve wasn't going to stay half the night at that place. So that hence I had to go with my neighbors for that one. But when he
Right.
and I went for just like the 2 hour thing, and we were allowed to take pictures and stuff, I was just snapping pictures at different things at the different rooms and stuff we went into. And I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary when I was there. But when I was going back through my pictures and I had them blowed up on the computer, looking at them, when I got to one where you can clearly see the guide is explaining things to us and stuff, but behind there were a group of people like kind of to the side of the guide. There was somebody behind those people that I did not remember being in our group. And I was like, wait a minute. And I blew it up a little bit more. And this, I kid you not, this woman or girl or whatever you want to call her, seemed to be totally out of place, did not have a hairstyle like any of the other women in this group. It's just seemed that they had ripped this person out of some different time, and it just looked like she was observing us. And so I hollered at Steve. I said, Steve, come back here a minute. And he came back here, and I said, do you remember that girl being in our group? And he said, no, Dana. He said, you're freaking me out. And he went back in the living room because he didn't want to look. He says he doesn't believe in that stuff anyway. But so I had that. Maybe sometime I'll dig up that picture and put it on here when I'm doing a stream or something. And then the second time I went, where I stayed half the night and went with my neighbors, we were going through the death tunnel. And we went all the way down, and then you kind of reach a stopping space or stopping place, and you got to turn around and go back up. So we didn't see anything going down into the death tunnel, but we turn around and we're coming back. I was just videotaping things. And all of a sudden, there was what appeared to be this apparition in a long dress. And I tried talking to, I know people will laugh, but I tried talking to whatever this was. And we would go towards the apparition, and it would just keep floating backwards until we got all the way back up to the entrance, and whatever this was just dematerialized. And my neighbor saw it too. I was like, do you see that? Or am I just completely crazy? And they're like, no, I see it. So both times I was there, I experienced something. Now, whether people believe it or not, I don't know. But I know what I saw. So I guess that's all that matters.
Well, that's some spooky shit right there, Danny.
Did
I
you
didn't.
take pictures with
Yeah, I mean, we took pictures, all kinds of pictures and everything, and we saw some like whatever you want to say, orbs or
the
whatnot, but
orbs and
nothing
stuff? Yeah.
really nothing really insane. And then there was some stuff, a couple of creepy things that happened, like noises and things like that while we were there. But I just often wonder, like, how much of that might be set up by that place. Like, if they have almost like a haunted house or something, if they have a way to kind of control some of those things.
I could see maybe the ball or some of the different sounds and things like
Yeah.
that. I could see that, but the stuff that I saw in my pictures and the video,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know how they could have. I mean, maybe they could, but I just don't know. I had never seen anything like this in my entire life. And it was just, Waverly Hills is supposed to be one of the most haunted places. There are other places too, but I had always for years wanted to go there. And Steve had lived, over 10 years in Louisville and never been to Waverly Hills. And I was like, why don't we go? We're right here. It's not like it's going to be a 7-hour trip or something to go. We should just go and check it out and see what it's all about. And granted, he wasn't impressed. I was just like, wow, everything was just so cool to me.
Yeah, I
But
mean, we both liked it. We've been wanting to get back there for a while now and do one of the overnight kind of things.
did they tell you guys the story about because they were talking about people would always try to break into Waverly Hills, which
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be that hard actually.
No.
Um, but there were some people, kids, I guess, teenagers, that broke in there at one time, and they got in a room and couldn't get back out of it.
Right. They
And
did tell us that. Yeah.
did they tell you about like the axe marks or whatever that was? Like somebody had hit the door with something. There are actual nicks in the door.
I don't remember that particularly. It'd be funny if they were like, and then they all went mad like in that room. And
Well,
like,
when somebody came to get them out there,
yeah, yeah,
they lost it.
they're all crazy and they killed all of them.
Yeah.
It became like a people under the stairs thing where they're living on the walls now.
Yeah.
What's up, Rooster? What in the hell is she drinking? Cologne? Perfume? No, that's actual bottle of whiskey or something.
I hope nobody's drinking cologne in here.
Dana, this is filthy. I want you to avert your eyes. Seriously though, what's your timestamp right now? Because I don't know where you're at as opposed to where I am.
I think I'm about what 45, 50, something like that.
Oh, Lord, you haven't got to the part that I had a commercial and everything.
They're giving Morgan some water, the ditzy blonde girl.
Tubi and shitty old ads are killing me. All right. I'm going to go 46-28 right now.
Okay. So you're about where I'm at. They evidently well, that woke Morgan up. They evidently found Mrs. Slater's body. How she got there, we don't really know. Damn. Katie just slapped Vicky. I think I might be a little bit behind some of the people in the chat because I think, yeah, TJ was talking about a few minutes ago about Vicky calling everybody cowards. So,
Yeah, right now is the part I was talking about, which is pure filth, Dana. Vulgarity, you should not be watching this.
really?
Look at that. That's just. They shouldn't allow
You're
that kind of
talking
thing.
about her taking her clothes off here?
That's right, Dana. This is just filthy.
Hey, you got to have this in here for the guys.
Nope. Filth.
The guys got to have this. Oh, she shouldn't be doing that in front of a Garfield poster. Come on now.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. That's a hell of a thing just to find in the middle of nowhere.
What is funny though is, and I've said this before about, I know why girls dress skimpy in slumber parties in horror movies, because guys are watching and they want to see that.
Oh Lord.
But if you were talking about a real life scenario, I would think it would be creepy unless they were a bunch of lesbians. For women to be dressing in skimpy stuff and getting naked in front of each other and all that.
Yeah, Dana, that sounds horrible.
So Morgan just got dispatched there.
You ever notice how many times in one of these slasher movies, like when somebody like gets stabbed like that, they make that face where they're like their eyes cross and their tongue's kind of hanging out.
Exactly. Now they're wanting to know, have you guys seen Morgan?
I don't think that's how people really act when they get stabbed. If I was guessing, they don't like.
No, they're not.
Look like they're in the fucking Three Stooges.
Yeah. And just got stabbed in the eyes or something, or poked in the eyes. So Katie's went upstairs to look for Morgan, and she keeps leaving poor Peter by himself. I feel sorry for Peter at this point. Don't you feel sorry for Peter, Uncle Bill?
Yeah, I've got a lot of a lot of feelings for Peter.
Man, couldn't they have given him a different name? Let's just call him
It's
Peter.
some. It works for this.
So I'm
Is this? Let
what?
me ask you a question real quick, Dana.
Sure.
Is this supposed to be like a Black Christmas kind of ripoff?
It's possible because and somebody mentioned this earlier, and I was thinking about it too. There's a scene earlier where Mrs. Slater is up in the attic, sitting in a rocking chair, and somebody was saying that's just like the dead girl, only not dead, in Black Christmas. And there's other scenes that are very similar
Yeah.
in tone, I would say, to Black Christmas. So maybe the director, Mark Rossman, I think, is the director. Maybe he saw Black Christmas. And I've got some dang commercials again here.
I don't have commercials. I just got them stuff in a body and or yeah,
I may
into
have
the
to speed mine up a little bit when these commercials stop. So they're carrying the body out. So I may have to. Did you say they were stuffing her in?
into a garbage bin. Yeah, that's the last thing I was watching.
Okay. Yeah, let's put Mrs. Slater's dead body in this dumpster here. But I want to know, why would you give a kid this kind of like music box? That's a creepy ass music box. Unless you wanted to traumatize the kid.
It's actually a pretty cool prop, though. It's kind of like
Hmm.
the lament box or something.
Yeah,
It's the
right.
same. They just keep carrying it around, and people keep dying around it. It's pretty good prop for this movie.
It sort of reminds me of the Jack in the Box on April Fool's Day that
Yeah,
has the creature that comes out of it. I'd love to have that Jack in the Box. That thing's cool. That flame is like way out of control on that candle there.
speaking of April Fool's Day, somebody brought up last night on the stream, like who's your favorite final girl or whatever, and we were talking about Amy Steele.
Hmm.
Who would yours be, Dana? Like if you could pick like a favorite
Favorite
final girl.
final girl. Oh God, that's a hard one. I mean, I'm. I think I might have mentioned this before. I'm partial to Adrian King in the first Friday the 13th, but I also like Jamie Lee Curtis and Halloween. It's hard for me to really pick just one. And Marilyn Burns is great too. How I guess they're great on different levels. Like I like how Marilyn Burns is just so she's a final girl, but she's clearly lost it by the end of it. So you've got this all this frantic energy with her final girl. Um, Whereas Jamie Lee Curtis and Adrian King are more calm towards the very end of both movies. I don't know if that really answers your question, Uncle Bill. It's hard for me to pick this one.
It does. That's tough. Like thing to pick. Like one person ultimately at all those movies. There was a question that I was going to ask last night that I completely forgot about, but this movie reminds me of it too. What's a movie, Dana? Could be a slasher film, could be just any kind of regular horror film
Uh huh.
that you feel like had a really good idea or premise, but that did not execute it well.
Oh gosh. Well, there's a ton of like I'm talking about bargain basement horror movies, including some that I really like watching, but I will say that they're not executed well, and that most people would like them better probably if they were executed well. Like, and I'm gonna hear the groans. I know. Like for instance, Final Exam, which has just come out on 4K, that could have had a really, because it was set up good, I thought. I know a lot of people say it's boring, um, but you had the Radish character who was always so apprehensive and scared that, serial killers were going to be in their midst and just start taking over. Um, and a lot of, there was one scene, and I've talked about this with Final Exam, that this movie would not get made now with that kind of scene in it. The companies would say, nope, nope, no, we're not putting that out. And the scene I'm talking about is the scene where the fraternity guys set up a diversion so this guy can make his 82 on his chemistry exam. So they set up this thing where a bunch of the fraternity guys put ski masks on. They come piling out of a van, and it appears that they just start mowing people down with guns. And Uncle Bill's muted again.
No, I'm trying to stay muted because there's a lot of background noise right now.
That's all right. Um, so that was always the scene that was like, that's a big shock because it's like, holy shit, what is going on here? And that scene is more powerful now, unfortunately, the because of the fact of the increase in school shootings.
Yeah, I
That
probably don't see them do anything like that now at all.
no, it would not get made now. Um, you wouldn't be allowed to make a movie with a scene like that in it unless it was going to be something that maybe only a handful of people would see. But so that, no matter what you might think about Final Exam or similar types of movies, that did have a, in my opinion, a great setup. I know CK has said, uh, yeah, but what's the killer's motivation? He just shows up outside the college and decides, oh, la, 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 I'm going to go kill people. But to me, that is infinitely more scary, really, than someone having a motive. Is just this guy just shows up outside of a college campus. He's thinking, I think I'll just go in here and just massacre a few students here just for the heck of it, just for fun. To me, that is very scary. And isn't it, kind of like these people that, just, I guess, just lose all touch with reality and decide that they're going to go to some kind of, whether it be a sporting event, a concert, they're going to go up in Walmart, they're going to go to a movie theater and just start mowing people down. I mean, to me, that's the same kind of scary, the thought that somebody just out of the blue decides they're just going to go kill people. And it doesn't matter who they kill, it's just random people. Um, so, uh,
I'm not gonna sit here and defend Final Exam.
I'm not asking you to defend Final Exam. I'm just trying to explain how that
I
is a
understand.
movie that if it had been executed, if the film had been better executed, I think people would have. They may have not loved it, but I think they would have been willing to accept it better as a halfway decent horror film. And there've been other ones that were made around the same time that were like that, in my opinion. But you guys, a lot of you guys have said, yeah, Dana goes for the stinkers when she
No, I
Big
mean not
splash.
really. There's only two that you go for that stink, and it's Final Exam and Terror on Tour. I
Terror
think
on
everybody
Tour.
we all know that. I'm
Terror
just
on
I'm just
Tour.
kidding. To
Terror
each
on
their own,
Tour
you know.
could have been better executed too. But I just have fun with Terror on Tour. I don't really know why, but I do.
So Rooster says he's trying to find me a dick demon, and I do appreciate that, Rooster. I don't know what the status of dick demons are anymore. Like, if I'm sure they're sold out, but I don't know where you would get like a secondhand dick demon. Yeah, TJ, I noticed that too. That cop's outfit was like it's like
Yeah,
huge on him. Uh, looks like he's wearing a damn raincoat or something rather than like a just a.
exactly. Yeah. So is he? Um, I'm trying to think. Is he a cop, or is he like campus security?
I don't know. I was wondering that too. Right now, I'm at another damn commercial.
Ah, dang.
It's an Orkin commercial, so that's nice.
So coming up though, not long after this scene where the blonde's being chased right now. I'm totally forgetting her name now in the movie, but she's going to show up again. Well, I guess she's not going to get dispatched here because she just ran into Katie. But um, spoiler, guys, she's going to get dispatched a little later. But once she's dispatched, she's going to show up again in an unlikely place. And I will say that the reveal is one of my favorites in horror movies, at least.
Uh-oh.
Probably right up there with the head in the fish tank scene from both He Knows You're Alone and Eyes of a Stranger. I
So what do you
apologize to you guys if you hear Brandon barking in the background. I may have to check on him a little bit.
what are you seeing right now, Dana? Like, what's going on?
I'm seeing the blonde girl that I can't remember her name, and she's like sitting in the kitchen area, and she's getting a
Okay.
big old butcher knife out.
Oh shit. Where in the hell am I at here? The blonde girl's Jeannie, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm
All right.
about an hour and 1 minute 23 seconds in.
Okay, you're a little bit ahead of me. All right. That damn commercial ruined it.
Yeah, it ruins everything.
Mental note to myself: never do Tubi again. Just try to find the fucking Blu-ray of this thing
Yeah, well, if I
or the
wasn't such
movie.
a lazy ass, I would have just got out my Blu-ray.
Okay, right now she's running down the hallway with a butcher knife.
Okay, so she's throwing up in the toilet.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it. Here we go. Yeah, we're right about the same spot now. You're probably a little bit ahead of me.
So this is there have been classic horror scenes in bathrooms since horror movies began, basically. So or at least since the slasher craze, I guess. And the girl doesn't always have to be in the shower, but we got some hot, very hot water running out of the showers now. And so evidently the killer here is slowly opening all the
Which, how
stall
many
doors.
times have we seen that
Yeah,
shit?
we see that's a staple pretty much. If you've got a bathroom with stalls.
Yep, they're going to open every stall till they get to you every time. But here's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. Like they're going to push on that stall, but they're not going to bust it in or anything. They're going to try to like open it, and then something you're going to think they're coming in. They're not going to come in. They're going to come around a different angle or something.
They're going to come from the top. Yeah, it is.
Get ready.
So Peter is still, he's he's pretty drunk now. He's buzzing, but he wants Katie to tell him what's going on, and she won't really be clear with him. But she does say she's going to call the police because people are missing.
I'll tell you a great bathroom death scene, Dana, right now.
What's that?
It's not really. I guess it is technically a death scene in a way, but not really. Night of the Creeps.
Oh yeah,
Where he's in the bathroom and the little slug thing like gets him. And he's like crawling.
Yeah.
That's such a great angle shot of that too.
That is great. And then afterwards, when his friend is listening to the recording,
yeah,
and that is so bizarre. And he's clearly being taken over by these things at this point, but he's like, I walked. And it's just like, I don't know. It's something creepy about that whole thing. So they can't find Diane either. We got a bunch of people missing at this point.
You feel like by now somebody knows something was going on, like,
but they never do in horror movies. It's
like 5 people are missing, but we're just gonna keep looking for them.
Here's another thing that is a trope of horror films is people walking around aimlessly in the dark by themselves. You got people missing, but hey, I think it'd be a good idea to go walk around in the dark.
Why not?
It's fun.
I mean, that seems fine to me.
So this is the ID or whatever that necklace was that Dr. Beck gave to Mrs. Slater. It's some kind of medical alert tag, and it's not for diabetes. I'll tell you that. So she's calling Dr. Beck, and I never did like this guy. This guy is one of the most untrustworthy characters in a horror film because he appears like he's wanting to help, but wait till he gets here. That looks like the van off of Prom Night that Slick drives. That's what it reminds me of.
Holy shit, Dana. You know what I watched today? And I don't know if you're into this type of movie whatsoever or anything.
What's
but just
that?
as a side note. Did you ever watch those ski movies from the 80s, like Ski Patrol, Ski School? Any of those?
I think I may have seen Ski School. Isn't Dean Cameron on that one?
Yeah, he's in that one.
But that's probably the only one.
Those were like some of the worst movies ever. But like, I remember like watching them as a kid, so I just have a nostalgic thing for them. And I went back and watched, and they're actually worse now by a mile than I remember them being. Like just goofy.
Yeah, I do that with certain movies that I thought were just absolutely fantastic when I was a kid. And now you try to go back and watch them, it's like, what in the heck did I see in that movie? They just don't hold the same appeal anymore. So Dr. Beck has arrived now, and I hope you guys see what I'm talking about. There's there's an evil undertone to him. So they found a dead bird, and
Yeah.
now Katie's wanting to know why Mrs. Slater wore that medical alert necklace. So now we're getting the complete backstory that Mrs. Slater back in the 60s wanted to have a baby. And so she came to Dr. Beck because he had helped women that were having trouble getting pregnant. So basically, it was a disappointment, he said, and the delivery was traumatic, which we got from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, he's saying ever since then, she's kind of been having some mental issues. And so Katie wants to know who Eric is. There's all these birthday cards and things like that where it appears that she had a son, Eric, that she celebrated his birthday every year. Dr. Beck tells her that she celebrated it, but there was no, that Eric basically died as a baby. But there's obviously somebody that's creeping around there, and Mrs. Slater's dead. So, what do you think, Uncle Bill? You think Eric survived?
Yeah, it's the reanimated corpse of little fetus Eric.
So you got one dead girl in the pool. So they found one of the missing people. I think
Oh my God.
that may be Diane there. That's don't trust this guy. He's the one that started all this trouble. So she thinks that Vicky and Liz are still at the cemetery.
All right, Dan, if you had to pick between this, Sorority House Massacre, Slumber Party Massacre, or what's another movie similar to this? Curtains. What would you pick?
Oh, as much as I like curtains, I'd probably have to go with this one.
Out of those four?
Yeah.
Damn, Dana.
And I like curtains a whole lot. Curtains has an incredible, mask that the killer uses. That hag mask is fantastic. But I don't know. I guess I'm just a sucker for. I guess curtains is not what I would call a traditional slasher. Um, and I'm more of a sucker for the traditional ones. It doesn't mean I don't like curtains. I love curtains. But you gave me those four, so
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't complain about what you pick after I give you the options.
But out of those four, curtains would definitely run a close second.
Yeah.
So I had another damn commercial while we were talking. So
Right now I'm just watching people fall out of this van dead. That's the last thing I've seen.
Okay.
And we're finally getting to a little bit more of getting to see the person a little bit better. And the one chick just got stabbed in the face with a cane.
Okay. So what's your timestamp, Uncle Bill? I'm just trying
Um, I'm at 113.
to. Okay. I'm at slightly ahead, but not by much. Because Katie's in the. Her and Dr. Becker in the cemetery.
Okay.
And we've got Vicky and. Oh, is that Stevie in there with her, the other girl?
Ruh-roh.
So there's Mrs. Slater, and I think that for half a second they thought Mrs. Slater was still alive and killing people. Now Dr. Beck is saying that Eric's alive. Well, duh, we kind of figured that. Dr. Beck is evidently riding the struggle bus tonight, so.
Just the fact that he's named Dr. Beck is great. Dr. Adam Beck. That's one dude that I cannot believe does not like watch those shows.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the people,
Mm-hmm.
I guess he really just did get out of it.
So now good old Dr. Beck just stabbed Katie in the arm with some kind of drug.
It's a sedative, a mild sedative.
But
There.
but I've never heard of a sedative that would cause people to have hallucinations like she does here. This must be more movie logic here, horror movie logic. I think Dr. Beck has got more than just mild sedatives in his little doctor's bag there. He's got some damn street drugs or something in there. At this point, you don't trust Dr. Beck so much that you don't know if he's just sedating her so he can take advantage of her or what the hell he's doing here. He's locking all the doors. So Katie looks like she hasn't had much sleep in about 5 days. So here's where she starts hallucinating.
Yep. Well, everything looks like a Suspiria film now.
So now Dr. Beck is admitting that, that he knew Eric was alive. He told Mrs. Slater that Eric's condition was getting worse and that he's got to find him. So he's wanting to use Katie as bait to get Eric to come out.
It's so bizarre. Like just seeing glimpses of people dancing and stuff.
Yeah, and that's spinning cane and and then all her dead friends and.
How are you doing, Catherine?
We're just gonna walk away now and leave the cane here.
Reminds me of that short film from Michigan. What the hell's the name of that? Like, God, bless it. It's on YouTube. You should watch that, Danny. That seriously freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, if you remember the name of it, let me know.
It's got Michigan in the title of it, I think. If anybody out here knows what I'm talking about. It got kind of like TikTok famous there for a while because it's got some really like goofy scenes in it, but like oh my god. If Rob was in there, he
yeah,
would.
I was gonna say Rob was in here earlier, but he's writing his David Lynch paper, so he didn't get to stay very long.
Yeah.
So poor Peter's passed out on the floor there because I think Dr. Beck hit him with like some kind of dart to put him to sleep, which was meant for Eric.
It's called Possibly in Michigan.
Possibly in Michigan. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
It's one of the most disturbing short I've ever seen.
Oh wow,
It's
I'm intrigued
and
now.
there's nothing like graphic about it or anything like that. It's just I have no idea who thought of putting all the shit in it that they did. Like you had to be on some like major psychedelic drugs to think of the stuff that's in this. It's just so creepy, and it looks like it's filmed for $25, which makes it even more creepy. And just some of the line deliveries in it and stuff are just. I encourage anybody on here, just go on YouTube. It's all up on YouTube, and it's only like, let's see how long it is. 12 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And it will be the craziest 12 goddamn minutes of your life. You'll be like, don't take any gummies or do any kind of like psychedelic drugs, or you'll never come back.
Okay. Well, so Curly Jaw shouldn't watch this.
No, don't let
Okay.
Curly Jaws watch it. He'll be in Eastern State or wherever
Well,
he's at.
he's not only taking gummies, but he's taking shrooms as well. So he definitely doesn't need to be watching it. So I believe Dr. Beck just got dispatched there.
Let's see. It is from 1983. Yep.
So we got about 10 more minutes left in the movie, and that's probably including credits and stuff. So Uncle Bill, are you going to come in for the Goonies watch along tomorrow night?
Maybe. It is one of my favorite movies. Me and Wes, of course, like.
Yeah, I'm expecting CK to be in here too.
I mean, he's really the biggest mark for the Goonies of anybody. Like he should be in here for that. Although I did play the Goonies board game when I was a kid.
Yep.
So I've got that
remember
going
you telling me about that.
Yep. I'd love to find that now. I'm sure you can get it somewhere easily, and just play it again.
Ooh, man, Dr. Beck's messed up.
Lord, yeah. If they put some bologna on his face or something.
That's all they did. Like... So, okay, here's going to be, I think this is the reveal. Remember Jeannie was in the...
Yeah, yeah.
Last we saw her, so...
Yep, everything's fine. Nothing's going on.
Yeah. Oh, man, Jeannie's head is in the toilet.
Right in the shitter.
Is that not a great reveal, though?
That's great the way they set that up, too.
Oh, I guess I had forgotten that she threw up there. That's nice. So stupid Dr. Beck, he sedated her so much that she's almost incapacitated. And then he gets his stupid self killed. So she don't even have anybody to protect her now. What a doofus.
She's got a gun. What looks to be is that a 45? I can't tell from the.
Is that a 45 or is that dark gun that he had?
Oh, okay.
Uh,
The one that's a 45, yeah.
uh,
Unless it's a just replica dart gun, but that's what that is. It's a 1911.
because Vicky had a real gun, and then Dr. Beck had a tranquilizer gun or whatever you want to call it. So I'm not sure which she has at this point. So she's basically, I guess, trying to lure Eric out with the little music box. We're going to discover here very soon that I'm guessing Eric is obsessed with this clown in the music box because we're going to find out that he's dressed just like this clown.
Which is a really cool,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call that, yeah. Design.
And if I'm remembering right, we don't ever see Eric's face. Maybe we do, but I didn't think that we ever actually get a clear shot of his face, which is actually better, I think. So basically, she's hearing her dead friends saying, um, it's your fault. Why'd you call the police? And it's your turn. Uh-oh. I think that's a great reveal there to Eric as well.
Yeah. That's super creepy.
Hmm. I think it's better to not show his face, to just leave it with the clown face. I used to have one of those, I think, that little ball thing that
Oh,
rolls
yeah.
out. So she's
Now,
stabbing the
what
hell out
the
of him.
hell is that even?
It looked like that
Do
she
they
just
make dolls like that, Dana? He's
Lord, I
like that.
hope not. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that'd be horrible for a kid to have. Fucking
And the head come off by accident.
yeah.
Oh, let me stab myself or stab my friends with this. That'd be fun.
Jesus.
So you're seeing a little bit of like Eric's hair there, and just a little bit of his chin or whatever. But still, I think this is probably the best thing they did with this movie is the reveal of him and having him dressed in the clown outfit.
Yeah.
So they could have set this up for a sequel
I think that's what they were doing.
because as we saw, Eric's eyes open even after Katie is stabbed the hell out of him. There it says the band 4 out of 5 doctors. Got to bring that up again, right?
So I'm trying to figure out. Hold on a second here. Go ahead, Dinosaur.
Which mine went went to The Prowler from 1981, which is a watch along I'm going to be doing later on.
Listen, that movie, I love the effects in that movie. That movie is boring as hell, though.
Really?
Yes. Other than the special effects, that movie is just, it is a trudge to get through.
I see that's another one probably that if it had been better executed, more people probably would have liked it.
I mean, I'm gonna check how long that movie is, just out of curiosity.
TJ, I don't think I have heard about the extended lost ending to this movie. If you want to share, that would
It's
be
the
great.
Prowler is only an hour and 30 minutes long, but it feels like it's 2 hours long to me.
TJ says, which movie has the best severed head in a toilet? I mean, this one's up there for me. I'm sitting here trying to think of other horror films that had a severed head in the toilet. Was there a severed head in the toilet in Slaughter High? Or just blood coming up out of the toilet?
I don't remember severed head in the toilet. I do remember Sleepaway Camp 2, but I don't know if that's a severed head or she just stuffs her whole, like...
Yeah, I think she basically stuffs that girl's whole body down in the outhouse.
It's always like that scene.
Yeah. I remember the first time my family rented Sleepaway Camp 2 because I saw Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 before I saw the original Sleepaway Camp. And so I just thought that those movies were awesome. They haven't really, I mean, I'll be totally honest, they haven't really stood up to the test of time, but I still love them because, that was something I remember watching, a horror film that I remember watching growing up. So when that scene happened, when you want Allie to die by that time because she's such a bitch to everybody, basically. And so when Angela stabs her, and then she says, "Get in the toilet," and she's like beating her and making her go stay down in the toilet, and she comes up and she has the leeches on her face, and that whole scene for that time period was just great. Her coming up, gasping for air, and she's got shit and leeches and everything on her. It's just and Angela says, "You've been a shitty friend and a shitty camper," just to cap it off.
That is the one person that I wish that we would have ever gotten a chance to talk to was Pamela Springsteen about those movies. I would love to hear anything that she has to say about those movies.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know. I wouldn't really want to say that she's ashamed of them, but she kind of left her whole acting thing, including stuff like, oh gosh, just went right out of my brain here.
Think, Dana. Think.
My brain just doesn't work anymore. Maybe I'm having too many of these energy drinks or something. It's just totally making me.
Was she in something besides the Sleepaway Camp movies? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, she was. Gosh dang it. I'm going to have to get up here and walk back to my. I can't believe that I just forget this stuff.
How dare you?
I must be getting dementia.
That's what it is.
Or something.
It's early onset dementia.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, yeah.
She was a cheerleader in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Dina.
Everybody was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, apparently.
Heck yeah.
Like, wasn't the one chick from just one of the guys also in Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Hold on. This is going to kill me. I'm almost positive she was too, though. Just kind of like in the background.
Well, I know Deborah Goodrich wasn't in it, and I don't think what's her name? Last name is Heiser. That was the
Joyce Heiser, yeah.
Joyce Heiser. She could have been in it, but I didn't think she was in it.
Hold on. No, she wasn't. She was in Spinal Tap. That's what I was trying to, I
Uh,
guess, remember her from.
Spinal Tap is one movie that I don't think I've ever seen, but I
What?
need to. I need
What?
I know, isn't that unbelievable that I have not seen that?
I mean, I get, yeah. I mean, I guess like that would be one of those movies. It's not necessarily, you wouldn't necessarily just see unless you were a big fan of music or you know what I mean, or
But
something like that.
it's
From
always been a movie that I'm curious about, you know? It's always been there in the back of my mind, but I just haven't haven't watched it. And I should have because, I've watched uh other things with kind of rock and roll high school and stuff like that.
well, here's the thing about Spinal Tap though that makes it to me like just one of the most fun movies is that a lot of the stuff in it's just improvised, like right off the cuff,
Mhm.
and a lot of the lines they keep in, you can see like some of the characters kind of like almost break, like that's
Yeah.
because they didn't know that the person was going to say like what they said in that shot. And plus, I think I'm pretty sure Rob Reiner directed it, so it's actually really well made
Yeah.
too, just in general. But yeah, it's a classic. I've seen
So
that movie an unhealthy amount of times.
TJ is sharing the extended lost, and he said the cops find the victims and Katie in the pool in the clown costume, and they filmed extended ending. Now
Yeah, that's a
that
cool
would have
idea.
been interesting. Um, Bliss was telling me I must watch Spinal Tap, so I know I definitely need to, um, and it's going to be on my radar now. Like, where would be the? Because unfortunately, I don't own a copy. Does anybody know where I could find it online to watch? Because I'm sure Steve doesn't have it anywhere. But if I can find it, I will certainly watch it. So, what are your, I guess, what are your thoughts, Uncle Bill, after watching this one again?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a typical slasher movie from that time period. It's got a pretty good um, killer,
Mm-hmm.
um, some pretty good death scenes, a couple of different ones that are pretty memorable. There were so many movies like this though at that time. It's hard to even like keep up with them.
This, like I've said before, this was in the golden age of those types of movies. We hadn't yet started to fall off in the amount of slasher films of this type. You not only had camp slashers, you had these college slashers, you had high school slashers.
Yeah,
Basically, you had holiday slashers. They would make a slasher out of basically anything and everything that they could, just because they were so profitable at this point in time. And we all know if it makes money, they're going to keep making them until they stop making money. And then they're going to move on to something else that is making money. So I don't think we're going to see I mean, I know we're not going to see these types of slashers anymore.
no,
Because again, I don't think the generation that is currently, gobbling the horror movies up and giving the money now is going to, they wouldn't find this stuff appetizing to their movie watching experience. They would just be like, what the hell is this
yeah,
stuff?
they're gobbling it up all right. They gobble a bunch of shit. God.
Basically, in our eyes, and evidently, like, this is something that I discussed with Steve on more than one occasion when he will discuss it with me is I don't understand why he likes a lot of this new stuff. There's been a lot of shit that has come out. Like even recently, there's still like what did he have? He turned it off, but I thought he was actually going to watch it today. Um, bodies, bodies, bodies,
Oh Jesus.
and from the first song in this stupid movie, I knew that couldn't be good because the song kept I'm so gay or I'm so fucking gay or something. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then you have just the most douchebag people in these movies anymore. And I have a real problem when there's nobody to root for in a movie. You can have unsavory characters, but give me one person that I can get behind and not have a bunch of douchebags in this movie that you don't care if somebody comes in and just decapitates the whole bunch of them. That's the way I feel about these characters that are in horror movie, most horror movies now. There are a few, here and there that are good. But for the most part, I just look at these people and I'm saying, oh, God, just not another one of these again. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could agree with you anymore on that too. Like the biggest problem with a lot of these films nowadays are the characters and how much they suck. And they just like they're not relatable at all. They don't even
no,
like you don't even get to know anything about them like whatsoever. They don't have any real interactions with anybody. They maybe have like 2 or 3 minutes to have interactions with somebody on the screen, and then it's just real superficial stuff, and then they're all dead.
superficial. That's a good word, Uncle
Yeah.
Bill. They are very superficial. And I'm like, is that what the young generation is now? Lord, I hope not. I hope they're not all like that. That they're so much into themselves and it's all about having fun and and I don't mean just having a party or something like that or doing a little dope, doing a little, drinking and stuff like that like we used to see in the older movies. This is some really reprehensible stuff that people are doing in these and they just like, ha ha, this is normal. You know, and it's just like, no, it's not. Well, I would hope that normal people would not act like this, and react to certain situations like they do in movies now. TJ, actually, I did like Cocaine Bear. I enjoyed Cocaine Bear. That wasn't one that I actively disliked. I had fun with Cocaine Bear. Um,
I couldn't. I don't know. It wasn't that I couldn't watch it. I just started watching it and I was like, I don't give a shit, and then just stopped watching it. Like I'll at some point probably end up trying to finish that movie.
And I just, I could go on for 5 hours, but I won't, about how terrible about 95 to 99% of not only horror movies, but just movies that come out in general are now.
That's true.
Um,
I mean, there's very few movies that come out anymore where I actually kind of just get excited and want to see them. Like that's almost
yeah.
like maybe once every couple of years at this point, but I don't know.
TJ says to avoid blood and honey. I honestly, from what I've heard about blood and honey, I don't really have any feel any urgency to see that movie because I don't think I've heard one good thing about that movie. Not one.
No, I haven't either. Like everybody that I have ever heard say anything about it,
Like,
like,
don't
oh,
watch it.
yeah,
Of course, I heard the same thing about Skinamarink, and you guys know what I thought about Skinamarink after watching
right.
it. And everybody thinks I'm a weirdo or I must have been on drugs when I was watching it or
No, I mean,
something. But
everybody likes Skinamarink. It's a good movie.
Nah, I heard it was a piece of shit. But that's what, when people repeatedly, here's something you guys need to know about me. The more people tell me something is a piece of shit, the more I'm going to want to see what exactly is it about this movie that everybody is saying it's a piece of shit. That just encourages me to watch it. So if you don't want me to watch it, don't tell me it's a piece of shit.
Hold on one second, Dana. I'm gonna show you this is what watching Skinamarink is like. You ready?
Okay.
Oh, look at there! I disappeared. Look, my audio's gonna leave now, Dana.
Oh man. And
Now I'm back.
you had to use the picture of CK, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh
That's as
God.
much fun as uh the video of Steve with the Michael Myers breathing in the
Did you see
background.
that? Did you see
Yes, I
that?
did. I saw it multiple times.
I wondered if you saw that or not.
Yeah, I did. Holy cow. Well,
Anyway. Well, it was fun though, Dana, to actually
uh,
watch this movie. I haven't seen this movie in years, but I need to go ahead and get the Blu-ray of it because it's definitely probably
yeah,
worth.
come on, Uncle Bill. And guess what? Actually, Steve said he was going to buy it for me.
He
I
never did though,
ordered.
did he? He never bought it for you because he's a piece of
No,
shit.
no, he did.
Oh, did he?
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Uh,
He did end up doing the 4K final exam. So
oh,
as soon as Dark Force Entertainment dude decides to ship these suckers out,
you
I
better
will
you
have it
better
in
just
my
kiss your
home
money
run.
goodbye on that one. Then that guy's crazier than hell.
He is
He
crazy.
may never ship that out. It may like
Well, there were some people on Facebook that were saying they had already got. So evidently there was one shipment of them. Now he's got another group of them, but get this, guys. It says limited quantities.
I'm not positive that guy even has permission to put these movies out because that damn website goes out and then comes back in about every week.
Yeah,
Like,
I couldn't get on the website earlier today, but later on in the afternoon I could. And so, guys, I will be sure to let you know when and if I do get my 4K of final exam. Um, but yeah, I'm probably going to have to get off of here because it is almost 10 o'clock, and I'm sure Uncle Bill has got to get off of here too. Um, but I hope everybody will join me for the Goonies watch along tomorrow night. I think I'm starting it at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to have to double check my
you need to
time on that.
go ahead and get on West about that one.
Yeah, somebody else said they were going to say something to him about coming on. But before we get off here, Uncle Bill, have you seen my daily grindhouse intro?
I did, yeah. This
Do
was the
you?
first time on this one, yeah.
What do you think? You think it needs some tweaking, or do you like it? I
No,
know
I liked it. I thought it was,
CK says he was digging it, so
yeah.
I'm just trying to get multiple opinions on it. See if I need to.
Here's the thing to keep in mind about the like playing those albums and shit like that. Like, I wouldn't worry about any kind of copyright from bands like that because nobody fucking cares about them. Like,
Well,
you
I
know,
was
they've
hoping
probably
that
not been on a label for 40 years, so it's not going to matter.
First strike, I was a little bit more worried about than Voyager,
Yeah.
and here's why: because I could not even find any albums that Voyager had put out. So I don't know if they just maybe put out a single here and there, or they just did music for Blood Lake and said we're dissolving the band, or what happened. Because there are a ton of bands that are called Voyager. I mean, a ton. You'd be surprised.
I
There's
can
even one
imagine.
from
Yeah.
Australia, but this is an Oklahoma based band, as is First Strike. There were several low budget and or shot on video films that were filmed in Oklahoma. I can name you 3 right now. Blood Lake's one of them. The Last Slumber Party, and I believe Terror at Teen Killer was also filmed in Oklahoma as well. All 3 of the movies, not good movies. Not gonna lie to you about that. I've said that multiple times, but are they fun movies? That's the that's the important thing to
That
remember.
is the important part of it, though. It really is. Yeah.
You know, are they entertaining in some way? And you guys got to admit, Terror at
Right.
10 Killer, like that has so much shit in it that you cannot. I dare somebody to not find that movie entertaining.
It's like Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker. Like there's so much crazy shit in that movie too, where it's like it's not a good movie, but it's entertaining.
And
Like there's craziness all throughout it.
Terror at 10 Killer, you know, people have talked about low budget movies in the past where they had to stop and start filming because they ran out of money or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you can even see it in The Evil Dead where somebody has gotten a haircut in between
Oh
times. It's
yeah.
like, wait a minute, you know, their hair was longer like a couple of scenes ago. So, but Terror at 10 Killer is the only movie that I've ever seen where one of the lead actresses must have gotten a damn boob job in between times. I kid you not. There are scenes where her friend Jana, who looks way too old to be in college, by the way, but the blonde girl's friend Jana, she has little bitty boobs in some scenes, and then there's one scene where she's putting a two-piece bathing suit on, and all of a sudden her boobs got 3 times bigger than they were. It's like, holy cow, what happened? Did she take some of this Terror at 10 Killer money and get her a boob job? And so it's very
You took
strange.
her advance and like, yeah, got her. I've never seen that happen in like an actual in the same film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but it happened in this one. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch Terror at 10 Killer and you will know what.
Have you seen? Yeah. Have you seen Picnic at Hanging Rock? Have you ever seen that one?
I have not. That is another one that I need to watch because I think you've mentioned that movie before.
Well, it's getting ready to come out from. The reason I mentioned it is Second Sight's getting ready to put it out, so I'm gonna grab that one too. And that's like I'm sure it'll be $60 or $70, but Second Sight usually does a pretty good job.
Yeah, except with Martin, right?
Well, the thing about Martin though that I was thinking about, there ain't no way to make that look good. Like just the way it was filmed, there's just no.
Yeah. I guess so. Are you saying you kind of give them a pass on that one?
Yeah, because I think it just looks that's always how it's going to look no matter what you do, no matter who gets a hold of it, like it doesn't matter the company, like it's just going to look like shit
I
because of the
got
way
it.
it was filmed.
I hope Kelly doesn't mind me putting this up here. She says that happened to me in high school, flat in 11th grade, busty in 12th. Well, you know, I'm not trying to be too personal here, but I noticed that the older I get, it seems like the more busty I'm getting because I was never like really small, you know, once I started developing. But like a couple of weeks ago, I looked down, I was like, holy crap, you know, where did these puppies come from? You know, so, you know, um, again, not trying to get too personal, but it's just, you
it's a bit
notice.
it's a bit late for that now, Dana. You just go ahead.
I'll just tell, let's let it all out. Let's talk about everything. But you know, well, Kelly saying that just made me think of that. So, um, and everybody's talking about Lena Dunham in here. I ain't heard anything about Lena
Nobody
Dunham.
wants to talk about Lena Dunham's old ass. Lord.
She's bizarre, though. I will say that. Very bizarre.
Just yeah. But
Oh,
anyway.
but anyway, I am gonna have to get off here. But I want to thank Uncle Bill for being on here with me tonight, and I hope he returns tomorrow night. Him and CK both for the Goonies watch along. I hope you guys all can come in there. I know we got Monday morning, we got work and all that stuff, but let's just have a big blowout for Sunday and then worry about Monday when it gets here. Um, TJ says, Dana, where you bury the bodies? LOL. Um, yeah, if I told you, I'd have to kill you, TJ. So we'll just not do that. So so
Yep.
I want to thank everybody for being in the chat tonight. We've had a pretty decent crowd in here, and I've almost went on for 3 hours.
That's
So
right. Well, that's nothing right there, Danny. You got nothing.
I went on I went on for over 4 hours before, and that was hey, Rob's back in here. Night, Rob.
But yeah, I want to thank you, Danny, for having me on here, and then thank all the people for watching along.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you returning to the airwaves, so to speak, or the YouTubes or
Me too.
whatever you want to call it, StreamYard.
Fucking Wes on here.
Um, no, we're not watching the extended director's cut, and you are in here too late, by the way, Wesley. We're getting ready to cut out of here, actually. But while you're in here, are you coming to the watch along for the Goonies tomorrow night? That's what I want to know. That's the burning question I gotta know. Um, Rob says he hopes you're feeling better, Uncle Bill.
I am feeling a lot better, Rob, than I was the last time that we talked. It seems like something happened about a day ago where it just kind of just broke. I don't know if it can break like a fever per se, but I just one day I felt like complete shit, and the next day I felt almost like completely back to normal. So I don't know.
Um, Wes says Uncle Bill don't choke on the death. I I don't know if he means death dong. He
He
said
does.
death
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
song.
he meant to put. They probably auto corrected dong for him though.
They didn't want him putting dong on there, so it's
No.
like, good night, TJ.
I'm gonna get off here though and try to figure out this Logitech shit, Dana. I got that downloaded now and see if that does anything.
Oh, awesome. Let me know. I mean, your camera looks good on my end, looking at it now, but there's nothing to say you can't improve it a little bit. So yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow night, Uncle Bill. And until then, take care of yourself. Get all the way over that COVID and stuff. And try not to get that stuff again.
Oh
It's
Jesus!
gonna mess
I'm,
you
I'm
up.
gonna I'm gonna get it again, Dana. I got kids. I'm gonna get it about 15 more times. It'll be
Oh
fine.
gosh. Well, I hope you don't suffer through what I did and get the long haul COVID. That's what I worry about with people. Is, but yeah, take care of yourself. Uh, get that camera all fixed up, and if you are on here tomorrow night, then we'll be able to see any
That's right.
improvements.
All right. Night, everybody. Bye.
Night, Uncle Bill. So, Wes, you never did answer my question, buddy. I need to hear that answer before I get off of here. And before, damn, we still got 11 people in here. Kelly, you say he needs a punch card. Um, but yeah, if Wesley hasn't answered me by 10 o'clock, I probably will go ahead and more than likely be getting off here. But I wanted to give him a chance to actually let me know if he plans on it. I don't know if he's got something that um going on that he needs to. Yeah, you heard this, Wes. Rob saying Wesley answer the lady. Um, yeah, because nobody wants to hear me blab for a couple more hours. Um, he must have left when Uncle Bill left. That must have been what happened. Um, but I hope you guys had a good time tonight. I certainly did, and I'm glad that Uncle Bill was able to join me on here because I'm sure it gets old for you guys just watching me up here or listening to my um, ramblings about a movie. Um, thank you, Blissful. Blissful says, please hit the thumbs up. We promise not to clone you, and we don't bite. We maybe Texas. So I am going to stay in here, I guess, for about 5 more minutes until 10 p.m. Uh, so if there's anything anybody wants to, give me ideas for future streams or something you'd like to see me review or, anything like that. And you don't have to pay me money or anything. I'm not saying people are bad that ask for, donations or ask for money to do certain reviews. But me, I will do it regardless. If there's something that you would really like me to watch and discuss on here, I can do that. It could certainly be done in the Daily Grindhouse because I'm always looking for new things to do for that. Uh, but we've dropped down to 6. Like, I guess everybody figured, oh, damn, the movie's over. Now it's down to 5. Yeah, I know, Rob. Wes is a force that cannot be controlled. He definitely is. But again, just a reminder of what I've got coming up. Tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time will be the Evil Dead Rise review and discussion free for all. Again, warning, warning, warning. This will not be spoiler free. So, if you have not seen Evil Dead Rise, please do not come to this stream. Do not watch this stream afterwards until you have seen the movie. If you're not interested in seeing the movie and just want to hear what everybody's saying about it, cool. But I feel that I should warn you that it is not going to be spoiler free. I figure a week is plenty of time for the majority of people to see the film that wanted to see the film. And I hope we can get a whole StreamYard room full of people without breaking the internet or breaking StreamYard or causing people to get kicked out because there's too much going on. But it is my goal at some point in time to get 10 people in here, 9 people plus me, and it'll be like the freaking Brady Bunch in here. We'll be just having a great time. West Gone Wild. Now there would be a stream. There would be a stream. Kelly, you say we'll be there for that, at least part of it. Cool. He's like, he's gonna play his Britney Spears record backwards. Cool, Bliss. What you say, Dana? I love hearing convention stories. That might be a good live. Okay, yeah. I think I've done one, but I don't think I did it on my channel. I think I may have done it substituting for one of Steve's things on the Dead Pit channel. But yeah, I would be perfectly willing to do something like that. Also, as a reminder, again, of course, tomorrow night we're having the Goonies watch along. Plug, plug, plug. But May 6th, I'm having a Death Ship watch along, and May 7th will be graduation day because you get a bonus horror watch along the beginning of every month. May 13th will be the Prowler, followed by, hopefully, May 14th will be Bachelor Party starring starring Tom Hanks. Then May 20th will be Eyes of a Stranger, and May 27th will be Happy Birthday to Me. And in June 3rd and 4th. June 3rd will be Killer Workout, and June 4th will be Death's Ball. So, got all of that coming up. Plus, TJ and I are continuing our Monsters episode discussion on Wednesday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, covering the last half of season 1 of Monsters. So, got all that coming up. Who knows? I might throw some surprises in there as well. But now it is 10:01. I guess Wes will answer me or he won't answer me at some point in time. But I want to thank everybody again for joining me for this watch along. It's been a fun one. I greatly enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. This has really perked me up from having an emotional last few days. So this was a way to just bust out and just have a good time. So thank you guys for being here with me for this very fun watch along. This one's going to go down in the books as one of the top ones for me. So with all that being said, I am going to skedaddle on out of here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now.